Good morning and warm welcome to all the students and faculty who have joined us on this Alumni Connect session today. Today we have with us our special guest, architect Farzana. She has completed her B.Arch degree from School of Architecture and Interior Design under SRM, I think Madras University, and belongs to the batch of 1994. She has completed a college internship in Oroville and worked under Canadian architect Dominic Dubé, town planning. She has worked under architect Benny Kuriakose and involved in furniture design. In Singapore, in 2000, she has worked in Singapore and involved in a lot of landscape projects. And from the year 2001 to 5, she's been working in California under an Egyptian building contractor. So currently, she has started a firm on a real estate Arcus Promoter Chennai in 2018, and currently runs a YouTube channel to pursue her interest and passion in art. So we welcome you, ma'am, today to address our young minds. We have with us the first year students of B.Arch program as well as the B.Desk program. Initially, we have already had a couple of alumni connects for them. So we want all the stalwarts of the institution to come back and the young minds what is there in the process. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for your time. The stage is all yours. Ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you for this wonderful opportunity and belated happy Deepavali wishes to everyone. And shall I start my slideshow?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Seeking knowledge in a different world, different field, it's a wonderful attitude. Always I believe in that. As a human, we always tend to look for new ideas, new world. In general, architects and artists, they are deeply connected through their designs, insights and thought process and so on. Let's start from our great iconic architect F.L. Wright philosophy. Study nature, love nature, stay close to nature, it will never fail you. The way he abstracted with the nature was the wonderful source, inspirational source for me. In other side, the great artist Bob Ross, who has painted 30,000 paintings during his lifespan. He was more fascinated about the landscape painting. So these are all the driving forces connected me a lot into get into artist field. This paint, the acrylic paint, I have created 15 years ago. Okay, here small warm-up section about what are all the design elements and principles of art and how I have implemented into my art. Let's see. Line, pattern, shape, form, rhythm, movement, color, proportion, scale, value, balance, unity, texture, space, perspective, emphasis, rhythm, harmony. So these are all the main design element principles. Okay. Here I am going to explain. So what are all the design stages? First one, the sketching the image. How we create the concept stage in our architectural plan. Same scenario applies here. In general, I articulate so many ideas from different sources. It can be either from Pinterest or I take some photos and I create my own imaginative sketches. So I articulate everything into one, I try to make one formation. So here, two steps are very important. Mainly, I am focused into oil painting. So first step, underpainting, and the second one is composition. So what is underpainting? So underpainting refers to the initial layer of paint an artist applies to a canvas. Just approximately make some sketch and create some blocks or shapes or of color, whatever you like it or whatever you have in your mind. Don't aim to be precise in this stage. Just do approximate. So what is composition? So Composition is the term used to describe the arrangement of visual elements in a painting. How the elements of art and design, meaning line, shape, color, value, texture, form and space are organized or composed according to the principle of art and design. So painting layers. So this is the main step, how we create layers in AutoCAD, how we set up the attributes in 3D design. So same scenario applies here. So creating, like structuring the layers, it gives the more 3D effects into your art. Here I have created like a floral oil painting. Yeah, before getting into that, I like to give some advice. Okay, that self-evaluation is important one, because everyone is different, everyone is think differently, everyone brushstrokes works differently, and everyone perception and the ideas and the knowledge and understanding of design principles, everything is vary from person to person. So try to get the knowledge, try to get the details according to your own interest. So self-evaluation is very important. So try to evaluate by yourself what kind of material you are. So what kind of inherent talent you have. So according to that, select your field. Meaning, I cannot do portrait, I cannot do abstract painting. I am more interested into floral, landscape, seascape, and waterscape, like seascape painting. So these are all the main important key points keep in your mind. Okay, here the underpainting, how it transformed from, one second, how it transformed from underpainting level to composition level. Here, one benefit of using oil painting, at any stage you can recreate, redefine your shapes and forms. So don't aim to be perfect as a reference photo. Here, just I have played with like a hard edges and soft edges and positive spaces and negative spaces, and try to decide your light source. So according to the light source, try to implement color tones and values. See here, so many changes from here and there. So don't, it's okay to make some mistakes in the initial process. Okay. So don't afraid being wrong. Okay. Space is the important one at any design. Okay. So how you are utilizing space in art is also very important thing. So here, what is positive space and negative space? The area around the primary objects in a work of art is known as negative space, while the space occupied by the primary object is known as positive space. Simply saying, in this in this oil painting, the floral areas are the positive spaces. The background and the leafy areas are the negative spaces. For example, what if I have present like so many flowers, you feel like overloaded and overwhelmed. So in order to break that feel, just I am creating that illusion, like the leaf is there. Okay. So play with your positive space and negative space. So next one, focal point. As we all know, the focal point to emphasize some area, right? So it creates the center of attention. The focal point is the area that draws the eye of the viewers to the most important part of the painting. You can have 3 to 4 focal points. So how to establish strong focal point? As a designer or as an architect, what's our main goal? Our final product should have appealing to the viewer's eye, correct? So in order to achieve that goal, so what are all the main factors you follow? The contrast. Just play with your contrast. So what is contrast? As a principle of art, contrast refers to the arrangement of opposite elements and effects. For instance, play with light and dark colors, smooth and rough texture, large and small space. So contrast can be used to create variety, visual interest and some drama in our artwork. For example, if you are doing like a seascape painting or that cityscape painting, people, animals, even vehicles, which become strong focal points even if they are small. This seascape painting was my first one. I have created like 3 years ago. So here my main goal is to achieve that visual effects of water flow. Okay. So here I have applied movement and rhythm. So small intro about movement. Movement is the path the viewer's eye takes through a work of art. Movement can be directed along the lines, edges, and shapes and color. Rhythm. Rhythm is created, one or more elements are used to repeatedly to create a feeling of movement. Okay. So these are all the two main important things. Here I have tried lots of trial error methods. So because I keep on changes my mind from dark to light and rough texture to smooth texture. So try to explore new things, new techniques when you are in blocking in stage. So these are all the experimental period. So when painting, and one more thing, when painting a seascape or landscape, never have your horizontal line in the center of the painting because it's distracting and boring. Having a lower or higher horizon lines creates the much more drama in the painting. I don't know what it's. Okay. Here, the next one, the Alaska Glacier. This inspiration from Pinterest. Always wanted to represent that vigorous force because representing the force and the effects and all little bit complicated. So I want to try out these effects into my art. Okay, as I said earlier, I articulate ideas from the photos or my imagination and just incorporate all the ideas. So try to create lots of pencil sketches prior to oil painting procedure. Okay, here is the stages of work. How we create from concept level to schematic level. The same scenario. So here, small intro about harmony and rhythm. Harmony in art overall is achieved when the elements of artwork come together in a unified way. Certain elements can be repeated, yet they still look and feel like they are lending themselves to a whole. Here, I am very much interested about to create this harmony effect. Rhythm. Rhythm is repetition of elements to create the movement. Again, that force effect, it gives the movement effect. Movement usually refers to the movement of the viewer's eye. Around middle one, meaning the focal point. Here I wanted to establish two focal points. Here again, the focal point is here at the center. Okay. So I have divided into harmony and a contrast in shapes and colors and some movement and rhythm. The foreground I wanted to keep like a abstract because I don't want to emphasize lots of details. Okay. The another philosophy from Louis Kahn. The room which must be dark needs at least a crack of light to know how dark it is. The sun never knew how great it was until it hit the side of a building. I am more obsessed about light and dark colors. Mainly, I wanted to give some focal point over here and there. The lightning effects, what's really interesting in this art. because since I use that white color, it little bit tricky for me. Okay. So explore different color, adding different color, it will enhances the color value. And keep in mind, you should consider the reflection also, how the light travels through from top to bottom. What about the reflection? So these are all the key point you have to always keep in your mind. And next one, thumbnail value sketch. Here, in general, some artists use the like a pencil sketch. Always my preference is to bring out the color scheme that is more attractive to me and able to understand the color theory and the xyography details. Let's small intro. Okay, the value sketch is a simplified drawing that shows the positioning of light and dark masses and how they relate to each other. It's also called a value study. The thumbnail sketches are used by artists to visualize the final painting. That is the important one. So here, the middle portion I have created first. Okay. So that time my goal was to bring out some focal point here and there. But in order to bring out that snowy effect, I changed my mind from darker value to lighter value. I love to give that translucent effect, that vibrancy, that reflection over here. So these are all the concept stages, really helps you to bring out more realism into your art. Again, the still life painting. Keep in mind, so whatever I am presenting, it's all experimental canvas. Okay. For the experimental section, I used to buy the small canvas, I apply, and from that I develop into bigger size. So balance. Here my main goal is to achieve the balance and proportion. And the focal point is over here, the fruits area. I wanted to give that luminous effect, again that vibrancy color. Here again the contrast formula I have used a lot. Look at these shapes, bigger size and smaller size. The colors contrast, lighter colors and darker colors. In order to differentiate these forms and shapes, I have used in between some muddy effect to dominate this area. And one more tip, give some isolated form to focus the viewer's eye. Here, yeah, to achieve the balance and proportion, here I have changed lots of formations and lots of shapes. So try to accept your changes. That's the main important one. So small intro about balance. It refers to the use of artistic elements such as line, texture, color, and form in the creation of artworks in a way that renders visual stability. What if the work is unbalanced, appears unstable? It creates the tension, makes the viewer uneasy. Small intro about the proportion. It's largely about relationship of size one element when compared to another. When drawing or painting realistically, proportion is important. If the proportions are incorrect, then the resulting image will look less realistic and abstracted. It's not going to appealing to the viewer's eye. Okay, so these are all the small homework you have to do in the initial stages. Here another landscape painting. Whatever I'm sharing, most of them are oil painting. Okay, and one more thing. For the initial and the underlying painting, for 2 layers, I use acrylic painting as it dries quickly, so we can speed up our work process. Here again, the contrast in colors, like light colors and dark colors, the surfaces, meaning texture, the smooth surfaces and the hard edges. So sizes, variation sizes, small and larger in sizes. So these are all the variations give more realistic into your art. Here again one more thing, pattern. A regular arrangement of alternated or repeated elements like shapes, lines, colors or motifs. Here my focal point is the center area. So play with your color, okay? So unity is achieved when the components of a work of art are perceived as harmonious, giving the work a sense of completion. Here another waterfalls, it's inspired from Pinterest, okay? It was located in Australia. I was very much interested about that curvilinear forms, that complex shapes and the texture and the color. So I wanted to try out. I have used the same method, whatever the acrylic paint I have used for the first 2 layers. After that, I used the oil painting. So here, patterns. When you think of patterns in art, the abstract design may be pop up in your head. But this does not mean that patterns only appear in abstract art. They can be a part of a wide variety of art style. So try to observe the nature. So observe, the nature is the big teacher for us. So try to explore different kind of nature wonders. Okay. So try to achieve these patterns from nature. Try to adopt the nature. Here, the main thing, I was impressed about the colors. In market, sometimes we cannot able to get this kind of colors. So try to understand the color wheel theory. So you can create your own colors. So, so you can apply in variety of colors into your art. So the final end result will stand out. So dry brush texture. Mainly when apply these texture effects, I use dry brush texture. Avoid that linseed oil because that finishes are hard edges. Okay, so use that palette knife technique. Sometimes the brush strokes, it's not going to help to achieve the texture effect. Here, another interesting part about cityscape painting and streetscape painting. When adding intricate details of ancient architecture into my art, it's most interesting and most motivating section for me. Okay. Main thing when you are working on cityscape or streetscape painting, so proportion in art is the relationship of 2 or more elements in a composition, how they compare to one another with respect to size, color, quantity, degree, setting, etc. That is ratio. Okay, here another interesting effect, the shadow. The shadows are important historically for they provided early evidence that light travels in straight lines because shadows reveal much about an object's extension in space. They are often used to heighten the illusion of depth in a painting. See here, try to make a habit of photography. So try to observe the nature. So try to bring out small details from nature. Try to implement into your art. See here and there. So these are all the effects brings out more realism into your art. This is watercolor painting. Here I have used water-based oil painting. Here my goal is to bring out more luminous effect, like the vibrancy effect into the center of the area. In order to achieve that vibrancy color, I have applied the darker tones for the background, the midtones for the floral area. So play with your color tones, meaning light and dark color. So it emphasizes the focal point area. Again, this one is watercolor. Here the water-based oil paint. The color. The visual sensation depend on the reflection or absorption of light from a given surface. Here, general idea about the color wheel. Primary colors, as we all know, yellow, blue, red. When you are mixed up with two primary colors, you can get the secondary color. So what you get, like mix up with primary color and the secondary color, you get the tertiary color. Okay. Again, in this painting, I have played with contrast. Again, I'm telling, as a principle of art, contrast refers to the arrangement of opposite elements and effects. For instance, light and dark, smooth and rough texture, large and small shapes. So, contrast can be used to create variety, visual interest, and drama in your art. So, always keep in your mind, try to implement all into one area. Here, another watercolor painting. Here, the floral is water-based oil paint. Okay. The color terminology, hues, tint, shades, and tones. This sounds familiar, but sometimes confused with these terms, what exactly, how it really works. Let's see. Hues. Hues describe a pure color that is found on the color wheel and has had nothing added to it to change its property. For instance, you can get variety of blue color like a Persian blue, cobalt blue and so many varieties. In red also so many things. So all category in comes under one blue family. Okay. So these are all called hues. In simply saying, it's the color. Tint. What is a tint in art? Tints are created when white is added to any hue on the color wheel. This process lightens and desaturates the hue. See, for highlights, I use red with white, like a titanium white or zinc white. It gives that desaturates value. So what is shade? Shades are created when black is added to any color found on the color wheel. This process darkens the hue and creates the more intense value. So what is tone? Any color mixed with gray is added to a color. The final tone depends on the amount of black and white used, and tones may be lighter or darker than the original hue. See here, one small tip. When using the watercolor, I start from lighter colors to darker color. Okay, but mixing up the color is the same scenario. But in oil painting, I start from the darker color to lighter version. Only these are all the differences between using oil and watercolor. Again, the complementary color. So what is complementary color? How does it help? When you are establishing the focal point, applying these complementary colors take the vital role. Here is the small intro. The colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel are considered to be complementary colors, like red and green. The high contrast of complementary colors creates a vibrant look, mainly when used at full saturation. Okay, here another inspiration. Always interact with your nature. That is the main formula. Okay, so if you are like a landscape artist or seascape artist, the main important one, making the clouds. It's little bit tricky and complicated also. In order to bring the 3D realism, try to observe more closely, like how the light travels through this area and what are all the colors, how much the depth. So many small details you can collect, you can get it from the nature. So try to understand the perspective from your real life. It's very simple. Though it's a small photography, how it teaches about the focal point. See how the light travels through this small area, it's created like so many difference, right? So how the color changes, what about the details? and texture. Mainly when you are doing seascape or the landscape painting, texture also very important one. These are all the hard edges. Okay, so in order to bring out that hard edges, you have to familiar with lots of texture. So try to get some details from the tree and the rocks and so many things there. So try to observe the nature very closely, try to adopt the nature. Here, material. So to understanding material, various materials are available in market. So try to evaluate, try to explore so many materials, so many mediums. So, so what kind of materials you need, what kind of mediums you are going to pursue, what kind of materials you are comfortable. For example, for instance, for some areas, I use this palette knife in order to speed up our painting process, like for mountains and the trees and the rocky effect. And gesso. What is gesso? It's like a primer. Even though the canvas pre-primed by manufacturer, try to apply 2 layers of gesso. Here is a small intro about gesso. Gesso is a primer used to prepare a medium surface for painting. It can be used or not. It is not mandatory. One of the advantages of gesso is to use a surface that might not be ideal for paint. Once you use the gesso, you can paint on pretty much anything. You can also use gesso to cover layers of painting for making changes or editing a work. Actually, this step is very important one. Even at the end result, if you are not satisfied with your work, you can apply the gesso and restart your work. And you can add texture by adding things like sand to the gesso to create a texture. Some artists used mixed media techniques. So it depends. So what kind of artist, what kind of material you are going to use. So these are all the small tips. And recently I have found like a water mixable oil. So what is the benefit of water mixable oil? Since it's a water based, for the medium, you can use water. The original oil painting need the linseed oil. What about the linseed oil? It creates some irritations to the eye, sometimes like allergy to the eyes. So in order to avoid this chemical reaction, I prefer to go for water mixable oil. Okay, so what kind of brushes for different techniques? Okay. If for a seascape painter, the diagonal brush is very useful to create that waves. And for the clouds, the mop brush is very useful to create that clouds effect and for blending. Here the fan type brush. Here the foliage details, mainly the pine tree. This fan type brushes is very useful. Here the paper, there are so many materials available, like oil painting, like acrylic painting. For initial process, instead of using the canvas, you can use this kind of sheets. And final one, that varnish. From that end point to the final one, like meaning the applying varnish, approximately it takes 6 months of period. So try to give 6 months of drying period in order to proceed the varnish stage. So matte, satin, gloss and glass 2 coats. So select the varnish style according to your work. Here and one more thing, in general, in every stages of work, mainly the oil painting, it takes 1 week of drying period. Okay, once you adopt the new skill, what kind of habits you need to adopt? So develop and graft, learning to use the tools, materials and practices of an art form. Engage and persist, learning to take up subjects of personal interest and importance with focus in persevering a task. Here is the important one. So never underestimate your value. As I said earlier, each artist, each person think differently, works differently according to their perception, insight, and thought process, and knowledge, exposure, and comfortability, and main thing age. So don't let others make you down. So you have to be more confident in your artwork. Envision, learning to imagine what cannot be directly observed, heard, or written, and to develop possible next step in making piece. Yeah, try to use lots of imaginative ideas. Express, learning to create your works that convey an idea, feeling, or a personal meaning. It's more or like close to our emotional. Art is more close to our emotional. Okay. So what we are feeling, we are reflecting in it. So according to that, represent your artwork. Observe, learning to attend the visual, audible, written context, and thereby notice things which might not otherwise be noticed. Reflect, learning to think and talk about one's own art process and those of others. Stretch and explore, learning to reach beyond one's supposed limitations, to explore playfully without a preconceived plan, and to embrace the opportunity to learn from the mistake. That is the main thing. So don't afraid being wrong. Okay, so you can learn from your mistake. So understands the arts community. There are so many opportunity available currently. So in even the Facebook, there are so many artist groups are there. So try to join and just place your art, whether even if you are in that beginner level or intermediate level, it doesn't matter. So many good peoples are there to support us. That's all. I hope all enjoyed the section.
Our art studio details with the students in their groups.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Take care.